So good morning one and all. Today we'll start with the effect of noise in angle modulated signals. You know, angle modulated signal is two types. One is a frequency modulation, other one is a phase modulation. Now this is a block diagram of FM signal, FM receiver. Okay. So what will happen here? Now here, so we are giving S of t as input, that is the modulated signal. What is S of t? It is already modulated signal. Now we are passing through a channel. Obviously, in that channel, noise N of will be getting added. Now this is the receiver. Obviously, the first part of receiver is a band pass filter. Here, what is the bandwidth of this band pass filter? 2 into delta f plus fm, that is nothing but bandwidth of what? Fm. And after that we have limiter and discriminator and the low pass filter with the bandwidth W. Here W or Fm. You can use them interchangeably. Fm, W both are bandwidth of message signal. Now this discriminator is called demodulator. Discriminator is nothing but demodulator of FM signal. Okay. So the limiter. So we will discuss the purpose of this limiter little bit later. Now this is simply the receiver side of the angle modulated signal. Here we are talking about FM signal. So as you know already, there is no much difference between FM and PM signal. That's why we do all calculations only for FM. And from FM we can derive for PM. In the same way, here also we do noise analysis of FM signal. Obviously, from that analysis we can derive for the PM signal as well. Okay. Now, so here, so let us start this. FM signal as a constant envelope. So use a limiter to remove any amplitude variations. Okay. Here what happens is, so if you look at the FM signal, how it will be? It has some amplitude variations, isn't it? Something like this. So let me take like this. Sorry, it has got some frequency variations, whereas the amplitude remains same. Okay. Now here, so it has constant envelope, but it has got some frequency variations. Okay. So in these frequency variations, we have information. Information lies in the frequency variations. Okay. Now, but what may happen is, because of this noise, if you add noise to the FM signal, what may happen? There can be some amplitude fluctuations. What may happen? There can be some amplitude fluctuations. So it can be something like this. So there can be some fluctuations in the amplitude. Okay. Now these are some fluctuations in the amplitude. These are some fluctuations in the amplitude. Okay. Those fluctuations or variations in the amplitude can be removed by using a limiter. Okay. So using a limiter, we will remove the amplitude variations in FM signal. Be clear with this. Okay. But remember, here we should not use limiter for AM. Why? In AM, the information lies in the amplitude variations itself. If you remove the total variations in the amplitude, you are removing the information. So that's why we don't use limiter for AM. We use limiter only for FM, where information lies in the frequency variations, not in the amplitude variations. If at all there are any amplitude variations in FM signal, those can be removed by using limiter. That is the purpose of this limiter. It removes amplitude variations of FM signal, which are not important. So discriminator is nothing but demodulator, and at the end of this receiver we have a low pass filter with a cutoff frequency W or bandwidth W. Okay, so next. FM is non-linear, you know already. FM is non-linear. Not only FM, PM also non-linear. If it is non-linear, obviously it does not hold superposition principle. Okay. So what is the fundamental difference between AM and FM? In AM, information lies in the amplitude variations. In FM, information lies in the frequency variations. Okay. So let us see what is the effect of noise in AM and FM. It is not the same. Why? Because so generally noise will affect or noise will disturb the amplitudes, not the frequencies. Okay. So what may happen is, so let us take a simple thing. Suppose if you look at the let me take an amplitude or frequency. Let us take an amplitude, something like this. We have a signal. Okay, this is the frequency, this is amplitude. Correct? A. Suppose noise is added to the signal. So what would be the resultant signal? So because of noise, we may get amplitude variations, severe amplitude variations. Okay, what may happen? You may get something like this. This is a resultant signal after adding noise. Now you compare these two signals. What about frequency? There is no change in frequency, or there is no much change in the frequency. There is no much change in the frequency. Okay, but there is a lot more changes in the amplitude. Amplitude is changing rapidly because of noise, or you can say that because of noise we have a amplitude disturbance. Amplitude is not same, amplitude is disturbed, but frequency is not that much disturbed. So obviously what happens if it is AM signal, if amplitude is disturbed, what happens? Information is disturbed, information is lost. But in FM, information lies in the frequency variations, but because of noise there are no much changes in the frequencies. That's why. So simply, what is this conclusion? FM is inherently robust to noise, or effect of noise is little bit less in FM compared to the AM. Okay. Consequently, FM signal is very less affected by noise than AM signal. This statement is very, very important. Consequently, FM signal is very less affected by noise than AM signal. What is the reason? The reason is very simple. In AM, information lies in the amplitude. In FM, information lies in the frequency. Noise will affect the amplitude more compared to the frequency. Okay, that is the logic, right? So let us go to our calculations. Okay, so angle modulated signal, that is S of t equal to AC cos omega ct plus psi of t. What is psi of t? It is kpm of t per pm signal, kf integration 0 to t m of t deta for FM signal. Okay. Now at the receiver input we have noise. Okay. So here, so what is this noise? Okay. Now here, what is the bandwidth of this band pass filter? 2 into delta f plus fm. This noise n of t is passed through this band pass filter with a bandwidth 2 into delta f plus fm. Then what happens? So simply, so this is a band pass filter with a bandwidth. This is n of t. This is n I of t. It's a band pass filter with a bandwidth. What is that? 2 into delta f plus fm or w. But what is n I of t? You know already. It can be written as in phase component and quadrature phase component. NC of t cos omega ct plus ns of t sin omega ct. Okay, this is ni of t. Ni of t having bandwidth how much now here? So the bandwidth of this ni of t is how much? 2 into delta f plus fm. Now already you know this is something like a cos theta, this is a, plus b sin theta. Okay, this is the form of a cos theta plus b sin theta. That can be written as square root of a square plus b square cos theta plus some phi. Okay, are you getting what I am saying? I am writing that in the envelope form. What can I write now? So that can be written as square root of nc of t whole square plus ns of t whole square. This is a square plus b square. Okay, cos of theta. What is theta? Omega ct plus some phase phi. Okay, now I am calling that as this as something like en of t into cos, this is phi n, let us take cos omega ct plus phi n of t, or phi n of t. Now see, you don't get confused. This form I am writing like this form. What is en of t equal to? Square root of nc of t whole square plus ns of t. What is phi n of t? Obviously tan inverse ns of t by nc of t, tan inverse b by a. Okay, anyway. So what is input to the receiver or demodulator? That is s of t signal part plus noise part. What is noise part? This noise part. That is en of t cos omega ct plus phi n of t. Now next what happens? This is input to the demodulator. Okay. Yeah. Now here in this, okay, what is s of t? That is AC or a cos omega ct plus psi of t plus noise. What is that? n of t cos omega ct plus phi n of t. So what is signal amplitude? Signal component amplitude a. What is noise component amplitude? En of t or En. Signal amplitude is a, noise amplitude is En of t. Okay. Now just like in AM, here also we take large SNR case or small noise case, which means signal component is much more than noise component. What is signal component here? A. Signal amplitude is A. That is much more than noise amplitude. What is that? En of t for all t. Okay. So if it is so, noise output and message signals are approximately independent of each other. If it is so, what I can say? These two are independent of each other. This component and this component. This component and this component are independent of each other. Okay. Independent means what? Output is nothing but message component plus noise component, and these two are independent of each other if I don't leave large SNR case or small noise case. What is the advantage of independence? If they are independent, we can use a separate analysis for signal power and noise power. Please, it is very important. Even though it is non-linear, we could able to apply superposition principle, which means we are using separate calculations to find out signal power and noise power because they are independent. Why they are independent? Because large noise, small noise or large SNR. So output of discriminator. Okay, this is very important. you just find out this here. Output of a discriminator. So I told you we have a discriminator, that is nothing but demodulator. Discriminator. So if input is FM signal, output is, obviously it should be message signal, but not exactly message signal, it is kf into m of t. Okay, actually output is proportional to instantaneous frequency, that is, what is instantaneous frequency? That is Fi of t. Output is proportional to instantaneous frequency, that is Fi of t. But so here it is kf m of t. Okay. Now please remember here. Okay, so let me write everything very clearly here. Now, so to the discriminator, what is input? Input is summation of signal component as well as noise component. This is the discriminator. Input is signal plus noise. What's the output? Okay. For signal, so we are doing independently. First we find out signal and next noise. So if it is signal only, if there is no noise, let us take. If signal is given, output is kf m of t. What is kf? It is called frequency sensitivity. So what is the output signal power? What is output signal power? This output signal component. So what output signal power? Kf square m square bar. Okay. And one more thing. So what is the input signal power here? What is the input signal power? Input signal is what? A cos omega ct plus psi of t. This is input signal. What is input signal power? Si. That is a square by 2. Si is a square by 2. S0 is what? Kf square m square bar. Please remember, this is very, very important. Yet they are not same. Yeah. So that is about signal power. So how to find noise power? While finding noise power, we assume that there is no signal. Okay. So then what happens? See, there is no message signal. Okay. Otherwise, let me write properly here. So to find out noise power, what we assume? So first of all, what is input to the discriminator? That is a cos omega ct plus psi of t plus nc of t cos omega ct plus ns of t sin omega ct. Correct? Now, so while finding the signal power, we assume that there is no noise. While finding the noise power, we assume that there is no message signal. So, what is psi of t? What is psi of t equal to? Psi of t equal to kp m of t, kf integration of m of t. If there is no m of t, if m of t is 0, what is 0? Psi of t is 0. Okay. In this psi of t is 0. Which means, what do you get? Psi of t is 0. Okay. Psi of t is 0. Then what is input to the discriminator? Simply carrier a cos omega ct plus what? Plus nc of t cos omega ct plus, obviously, what is that? ns of t sin omega ct. So in this what we can do? We can take cos omega ct common. A plus nc of t, that is nothing but a plus nc of t into cos omega ct plus ns of t sin omega ct. This is the input to the discriminator in the absence of signal, message signal. See, so you don't get confused. So as I told you, you can do separate calculations for message as well as for noise. Okay. While calculating the signal component, we assume that noise is 0. While calculating the noise power, assume that message is 0. Am I clear? Okay. That is a advantage of being independent. As I told you, for ISNR, signal component and noise component are independent of each other. Okay. So while finding one component, we assume that other component is 0. While finding signal component, noise is 0. While finding noise component, message is 0. Okay. So this is for finding the noise component or noise power. This is the input to the discriminator or demodulator. As I told you, discriminator output is proportional to Fi of t. That is equal to Fi of t actually. Okay. Now, so how to solve this? How to find out Fi of t? Okay. Now we have drawn a phasor diagram. Cos omega ct, that is AC plus NC of t, and this is sin omega ct. This is the resultant. This is the angle between cos omega ct and sin omega ct. So how to find angle? You know already, right? Angle means, so it is something like this is A. This is A cos theta. This is B sin theta. Correct? A cos theta plus B sin theta. Now, what is the angle between them? Okay, that is tan inverse B by A. This angle. You know this thing already, right? What is B? What is A? B is ns of t. A is A plus nc of t. Okay, obviously the angle is tan inverse B, that is ns of t, by A, that is A plus nc of t. Okay, are you okay this? Tan inverse ns of t by AC or A plus nc of t. Now please observe very carefully. High SNR case, which means AC or A is much more than NC of t as well as NS of t. Which means in this denominator A is much more than NC of t. Obviously this can be neglected. What you can do? Theta of t is approximately equal to tan inverse what? Ns of t by A. Why? In the denominator of this tan inverse, I am neglecting NC of t because it is much less than A, or A is much more than NC of t. Again here, what happens here? Again here, this denominator A is much more than Ns of t. Then what happens? Again, Ns of t by A is much less than 1. Why? Because A is much more than Ns of t. Now here comes the logic. Tan inverse theta is approximately equal to theta if theta is very small. It is called small angle approximation. Tan inverse theta equal to approximately equal to theta if theta is very very small. Here, what is theta here? This is theta or phi, whatever you call. This is theta. What is theta is now? This theta is very very small. If it is so, then what happens? So tan inverse theta will be equal to theta, which means this quantity is equal to just this quantity. Obviously, angle theta of t is approximately equal to ns of t by a. Okay. Now, as I told you, discriminator output is nothing but instantaneous frequency that equal to Fi of t. You know already the relation between instantaneous angular frequency and angle. What is that? If you differentiate the angle, you will get the frequency. I am asking for instantaneous frequency, that's why I am dividing with 2 pi, 1 by 2 pi d theta of t by dt. So, but what is theta of t? Theta of t is ns of t by a. Now, then what is Fi of t? Fi of t equal to 1 by 2 pi d theta of t by dt. Differentiation of this angle. If you differentiate, obviously this a, it is amplitude, no constant. Then what do you get? So the instantaneous frequency will be equal to 1 by 2 pi a or ac, don't bother about this. So what is that? Differentiation of ns of t you get. Okay. Now d ns of t by dt. This is the output of the demodulator for the noise component. Please observe very carefully. Okay. I am writing AC here or A, both are same. So the output of discriminator is combination of message component as well as signal component, noise component. So what is the message component? Message part. What do you got? Kf m of t. This is the output of the demodulator when there is no noise. Okay, Kf m of t. Next is reverse. So this is the output of the demodulator. This is output demodulator when there is no signal, message signal. So finally, output of the demodulator will be sum of these two, that is Kf m of t plus this component 1 by 2 pi a dns of t by dt. Now here comes the calculations. Okay, before going further, let us do some calculations. So you know already, let me write here ni of t equal to nc of t cos omega ct plus ns of t what? Sin omega ct. Now here this is the first diagram is the what? Power spectral density of what? Ni of t. Remember this. Now how to find power of Ni of t then? Obviously it is area under this PSD. What is area under this diagram? This is eta by 2. This is eta by 2. So what is area under that? So from the first diagram, what is the area under the diagram? That is 2 into eta by 2 into 2 into delta f plus fm. Do you agree or not? Here eta by 2 into delta f plus fm. This area of only first one rectangle. We have two rectangles, obviously into 2. So 2 into rectangle area, this is cancels out, this is equal to 2 into eta into delta f plus fm. What is this? Power of ni of t, that is called ni square bar. Please be careful. Now what is the next diagram? This is PSD of what signal? NC of t. Last one, last diagram. What is this diagram? This is a PSD of ns of t. Okay, so try to understand the things very clearly. So what is this area and what is this area? What is this area? Eta into 2 into delta plus fm. Same thing for this last diagram, eta into 2 into delta plus fm. Obviously the power of nc of t, nc square bar equal to 2 into eta into delta f plus fm. Obviously the power of nst equal to same 2 into eta into delta f plus fm. Okay, finally what you can write? Finally I can say that in case of fm, the power of ni of t, that is ni square bar, is same as power of nc of t, that is nc square bar, is same as power of ns of t, that is nc square bar. All are equal to 2 into eta into delta f plus fm. Okay, so that is about power. Yeah, here, okay, so at the output of the discriminator we got combination of two things. Output of the discriminator we have combination of two things. What are they? Signal component kf m of t plus noise component, the what you got? 1 by 2 pi a d ns of t by dt. Okay, so signal power, output signal power is simply power of the signal, already we calculated, s naught equal to kf square m square bar. What is SI? Input signal power is simply a square by 2. Okay, now here comes the noise power. How to find out output noise power? N naught. That is the question. What is noise component? This component. How to find out this noise power? Okay, so to find out noise power, we should know power spectral density. Okay, but here what we know? We know power spectral density of ns of t. What is that? How it is? This one, ns of t. How it is? The power spectral density of ns of t. How it is? It is 0. This is f. It is eta. What is the length? What is this length? 2 into delta f plus fm. But remember this. So what is this point and what is this point? This is middle. In the origin, we have origin in the middle. What about this point? This point is minus delta f plus fm. What is this point? Obviously plus delta f plus fm. Are you getting what I am saying? So let me draw very carefully here. So let me draw it very carefully. So the PSD of ns of t is something like this. This is eta, okay, and this length is how much? 2 into delta f plus fm. But this is center, origin is center. Obviously what this point would be? Minus delta f plus fm. what this point would be? Plus delta f plus fm. It is minus to plus, that's why it is 2. Okay, otherwise what you can write? It is eta from minus delta f plus fm less than equal to, sorry, f less than equal to what? Delta f plus fm. This is the mathematical expression. Please remember this, very very important. This is the PSD of NS of T, same as NC of T. What is this? This is the power spectral density of what? NS of T or NC of T, both. Okay, but so what is the problem here? The problem is here the noise component is 1 by 2 pi a into differentiation of this. Okay, now so here what will you do here? Suppose you have a system, a differentiator. Okay, let's take x of t, differentiator d by dt. So this is dx of t by dt. I am taking general example. Okay, so what is the Fourier transform of d by dt? What is that? So there is a Fourier transform also, right? X of t Fourier transform x of omega or x of f. What is the Fourier transform of dx of t by dt? What is that? J omega what? X of f. Which means, so this differentiator is nothing but what? What is the Fourier transform to j omega? We can replace that differentiator with j omega. What the differentiator with respect to time is nothing but passing the signal through a system with transfer function j omega. Are you getting what I am saying? So the transfer function of this system would be j omega. H of f is j omega. Okay, so it is as simple as that. Which means, so we are differentiating means we are passing the signal through a system whose transfer function is what? J omega. H of f is j omega. That is the meaning. Okay, you are differentiating time domain. You are doing a differentiation in time domain. In frequency domain, it is equivalent to passing a signal through a system with impulse with a frequency response what? J omega. Is it okay? Obviously, if it is x of f, it would be j omega into x of f in general. Okay, now observe things very carefully here. But what we want? We already know that output PSD equal to h of f mod whole square into input PSD. But here what is h of f? J omega. Okay, so what is mod h of f? Mod j omega is simply what? Omega. So what is mod h of f whole square? Simply nothing but omega square. Yeah. Okay, so here, okay, the simplest thing is something like this. We want to find out PSD of, please remember, what is noise component? 1 by 2 pi a d ns of t by dt. Okay, here, so differentiation in time domain is nothing but passing that signal through a system with transfer function j omega, which means we are simply doing something like this. We are taking a system with a transfer function j omega. We are passing that signal through this system. That's the meaning. Okay. So here, what is the input side? 1 by 2 pi a into ns of t. But output side, 1 by 2 pi a into differentiation of ns of t. J omega represents differentiation in time domain. Obviously, so what is input PSD? What is PSD of this ns of t? I am not writing 2 pi a. 2 pi a is okay. Later. What is the PSD of ns of t? Just now written eta. From where to where? You know already these things. Okay. Into mod h of f whole square. What is mod h of f whole square? Omega square. Into omega square. What will be? It will be like this. And one more thing. So if you take PSD, this becomes square. Okay. Now this is the output PSD. Okay. Why? Because what is omega square? First of all, what is omega square? It is a parabola. So this into this. Omega square means this signal. This rectangle into this parabola. Obviously what happens? It becomes something like this. Because this parabola has got no limits. It goes like this. But whereas this has got limits. This rectangle has got some limits. What is that limit? What is this? Minus delta f plus fm. This is plus delta f plus fm. So omega square eta by 2 pi ac square or a square. This is the output PSD of noise. Are you getting? You get a parabola kind of thing. Omega square is nothing but parabola, right? Yeah. Now here, so things are not over yet. Why? Because in the FM system, what is the last thing? After discriminator, we have a low pass filter with a bandwidth only FM or W. Now, again, if you pass this output, what is output? This output through low pass filter, this signal component will not change because the low pass filter having a bandwidth that is equivalent to FM or W. Nothing happens to the signal component. What about this noise component? We got noise PSD something like this. This is passed through a low pass filter with a cutoff frequency how much? FM. Which means you are passing this through a low pass filter only from where to where? This is 0, FM to minus FM. Are you getting what I am saying? You are passing this through this filter, low pass filter. Obviously, what will happen? So the extra components will be clipped off. What is extra component? This is delta F component. It is from minus delta F plus FM to plus delta F plus FM. But we are passing through low pass filter from where to where? Minus FM to plus FM. So this extra delta F portion will be eliminated. Finally, this is the output PSD, noise PSD. Output by noise power, area and noise PSD. This is the area. This is N naught. This is S naught. This is S naught by N naught. So I am not doing all calculations. You take a piece of paper and do all calculations. Okay. Obviously, always we mention S naught by naught in terms of gamma. What is gamma? What is gamma? Gamma is baseband SNR. That is SI by eta W or SI by eta into FM. What is SI in this case? A square by 2. Obviously, that is A square by 2 into eta into FM. This is gamma. S square, A square, both are same. So you want to write this S naught by N naught in terms of gamma. What do you get? 3 into Kf square into M square bar by Fm square into gamma. This is output SNR. Okay. Okay. So here, yeah. So you do these calculations. Okay. This is output SNR for Fm in terms of gamma. So till now, actually we did not take m of t to be cos omega mt. Okay. So let us take single tone modulation. What is m square bar? Am square by 2. Because m of t equal to am cos omega mt. What is S naught by m naught? 3 kf square am square by 2 fm square into gamma. What is delta f? Kf am. What is beta? Delta f by fm. That equal to kf am by fm. That is 3 by 2 beta square into gamma. That is the output SNR for FM. Okay. You do same thing for PM. What do you get? 1 by 2 beta square gamma. Okay. Now, so these are the output SNR of FM and PM signal for single tone modulation. Okay. It is 3 by 2 beta square gamma. It is 1 by 2 beta square gamma. So please remember, we are doing all these calculations for large SNR case, which means signal component is much more than noise component. Okay, valid when the carrier power is large compared to the noise power. When carrier power A is more than noise power or noise component. When signal component is more than noise component, this is the output. Now this is finally a table which will give you all the details. Output SNR, DSBSC gamma, SSB gamma, VSB approximately gamma, AM approximately equal to mu square by 2 plus mu square into gamma. It is for small noise case or large SNR case. For FM approximately equal to 3 by 2 beta square gamma, PM of beta square gamma. So please remember, for FM and PM, these are valid for single tone modulation or tone modulation. Okay. So what is power efficiency? 1 approximately equal to 1 for VSB. For AM it is mu square by 2 plus mu square. It is 1. It is 1. What is the bandwidth? 2W. W. FE plus W. 2W. 2 into beta plus 1 FM. 2 into beta plus 1 FM. In both FM and PM, output SNR is proportional to square of the modulation index, which means they are proportional to beta square. Okay. Obviously, if you increase beta, SNR increases. Now, so these are the output SNRs of PM and FM signal for general signals. Please be careful. Here I am not saying M of T is a tone modulation or tone signal. It is for in general signals. You must know this. For PM it is delta W whole square, delta omega whole square into M square bar by MP prime square into gamma. It is 3 beta square gamma into M square bar by MP square bar. What is MP? It is a maximum value of M of T. What is MP prime? It is maximum value of M dash of T. That is maximum value of differentiation of M of T. Okay. So here there is a conclusion. What you can say, for FM it is 3 by 2 beta square gamma. For PM it is 1 by 2 beta square gamma. Which has got more SNR? FM. How many times more? 3 times more. Okay. So let me write here. For single tone modulation, SNR of FM is equal to 3 by 2 beta square gamma. For PM, it is 1 by 2 beta square gamma. So what you can say, SNR of FM is how many times? 3 times SNR of what? PM. So which is superior? FM is superior. Why superior? Because it has got more SNR. Okay, because if SNR is more, quality of the output will be more. That's why SNR of FM is 3 times SNR of PM, which means FM is superior to PM by 3 times. But it is only true for tone modulation. Okay, for single tone modulation, FM is superior to PM by a factor of 3. This does not mean that FM is superior to PM for other modulating signals as well. This is only true for single tone signals, single tone modulation. It may not be true for other kind of modulating signals. Okay, so please be careful. So also now in this table we have represented the output SNRs in terms of gamma. Gamma is common everywhere. What is gamma? It's a baseband SNR, or it is a SNR without modulation. It is a benchmark. Okay, what is happening here? Gamma, approximately equal to mu square by 2 plus mu square gamma. It is 3 by 2 beta square gamma, 1 by 2 beta square gamma. So we always represent SNR in terms of gamma. And this is a power efficiency. This is third column. The last column represents bandwidth. Okay. So with this we complete the noise analysis of angle modulated signals also. So thank you. We stop here.